Greetings, everybody. It is your friendly neighborhood mail cat. I just like listening to this part. The objective here is to start in the practice city. So it wants us to get started on our practice city. We'll get the game. We've already got everything done. We're going to go to the practice city option and have the telefax message come up to give us our information. And it says SimCity is a city building game where you are the mayor. To develop your city, you need to set a budget, listen to the residents' opinions, and solve problems like rising crime rates, traffic jams, or environmental pollution. To begin, let's aim at building a city with a population of 30,000 people. Now, I'm not going to do that. That's not my objective in this. I'm just kind of walking through the sort of SimCity instruction booklet guide. So this is kind of casual that we're doing. We will start the game and take a look. Hello, I'm Dr. Wright. You must be the new mayor. Let's practice our city building techniques by building a power plant and then adding residential, commercial, and industrial zones. Next, connect all zones with power and then add roads for the residents to travel on. So here's our landmass. You can tell that it is got a lot of water, which is why this is something that a metropolis of 100,000 people would be an ideal goal. So you have a little island here that you can only put a few things on. Then it's got this sort of almost like United States looking main sort of panhandle here. You got down here. Got another little island here. But yeah, this is it. This is it. This is all you got. Not a lot. So we're going to do this pretty much the way that they did it. We're going to start with, let's see, nuclear power. I think put it about right there. Yeah. Boom. That's done. And you'll see that up here, I dropped below 15,000. That's because I have auto bulldozing, and so all that forestry there got automatically bulldozed to make room for it. So that cost, I think it was $1 per space, which looks like that was about $16. It don't be that much, but sure. All right, now let's build our first zone. Let's go with industrial. I know technically having a place for people to work before you have a place for people to live is kind of counterproductive, but honestly, you're going to need to build all of them around the same time. Otherwise, you ain't going to have nothing, right? So let's see. We'll keep it here, I think. Yeah, that looks good. And then we'll connect it with power lines. All right, and the power grid should go away. Build our commercial and residential spaces. So from what I remember about it, commercial always is ideally placed closer to industrial, and residential you don't necessarily want next to it. And then both of those are going to need power, and the industrial is the only one that's supplied currently with that, so we'll do that. All right. So right now, commercials are not in high demand for some reason. I don't know why. I think the rule of thumb generally is you want to have one residential for every commercial and industrial, because supposedly in the industry and commercial will provide jobs for the residents, so you just need one per. So the whole idea works like that. Okay, you're already seeing here that the commercial and the industrial started growing out. It's June. I don't know how it's growing out, but yet no, we still don't have anybody living here. Oh no, we got 160 now. Okay, so that's good. There's a house now, and that kind of a house is like a mansion, condo. I don't know. It's something that it's a very high quality house. I'll put it that way. But you know what? We need something else. We need to build roads. So let's build a road. The best way to do it is you got to connect everything with road. The funny thing is, so here we go. We got our road. Boom. And we're going to go from the end of the commercial. Bulldoze that. And boom. We've got ourselves a developing community. Well, next thing we're going to need... Uh-oh! Oh, wow. I've got a raid. Sparkle. Sparkle is here. She's here raiding me. I was kind of wondering if you were going to do that, Sparkle, because I figured you were probably going to finish before I did. Commerce is low. Okay. Well, that's fine, because we've got to start with our essential services. Without these services, crime runs rampant and towns might burn down. You know, like how it did in our simulation last week. Each station costs $500 and requires yearly funding to keep it operational. So this is when the services are going to really come into play here. So let's get ourselves a police department. And we're going to put it next to the industry. Now, the reason we do that is industry is the one that tends to get more crime. And then put the fire department here. And we will add a slight bit more road. Even though it's not altogether necessary, let's build a little parkland in some of this small space here. No trees on that one. We'll just start with that. We might do a little more later, but let's take a look. All right, so I'm basically spending $8 right now on my transit. That's real cheap. And then $200 on the funds for that, so that's $208. But you see, I only collected $78. Now you say, well, the tax rate's 7%. That's not too bad. Well, it's not too bad now. But if you want to grow significantly later on, you've got to start decreasing that, because larger cities, for some reason, you got to tax less. So we did lose a little bit of money, but not much. This is the first year, so we're good. We're through our first. Oh, look, there's some cars there starting to move at the voice of the people. So right now I got a 71% approval rating. That's nice. We have housing costs are the highest. Whenever housing costs are the highest, you're doing a pretty good job, because that means you're getting a lot of value for the housing costs. Taxes are at 17%. See, this is what I'm telling you. Only 7% rate, but a lot of people are saying taxes are too high. Traffic, pollution, fairly negligible. Population's 800. My game score is 699. The idea is to be about 700 or higher, so I'm kind of a little bit below that number right now, but we're currently in the village stage. We need to get to the town stage. So town stage is the second level, and that's between 2,000 and 10,000. So I'm almost at 1,000, so I'm getting close. You know what? Let's build a little more parkland, I think. Finally got some trees. There we go. Let's build a couple of new industrials. We will build it. Let's see. How about right here? And here. And of course, they've already got power because they're touching. Let's build up a little bit of roadway. See, that one started developing fast. We are going to do so if we have 4 items, we have 1 commercial, 3 industrial, so we need 4 residential. So let's build 3 more. How about that? That'll give us an even distribution. There we go. I think, oh, all right, so let's take a look here. So we still aren't making the money that we need to be making yet, but we're getting close. Part of that is because we did add a little bit of money to our transit fund, but not much. We should get to the town level here. Oh, here we go. It says we've got population more than 2,000. Congratulations, your village has become a town. Placing residential zones, industrial zones, and commercial zones in balanced numbers will help your city to grow. All right, and we should be getting a gift. Where would you like to build your own house? Do you want to live near the residents of your city, or do you want to build your house in a secluded area far away from congestion? Remember, just another election is around the corner. Yes. Many new players will place this in isolation like a castle, but it's actually better to live near the voters because the zones develop quickly to high levels with it. So, more tax dollars. So why don't we, let's see. So we got to go to this icon here, take the house. Let's put it right there. It's a nice little modest house. The fun thing about this, though, is it's a little modest house, but as the town begins to grow, it's going to actually get bigger. Every time it hits a new level, it will actually get bigger. Pretty cool, actually. Anyway, we need to add some more commerce because we have been getting notifications for that. To protect residentials from the industrial. That's why it's always good to build residential, commercial, industrial. in that kind of order, away from each other. So I'll put one there, and that won't even need any road. So there we go. It's suggesting that I build a residential to make up for that extra commercial I just built. And that's going to be where they suggest that. Let's see what we got. All right, we're actually making money now. Not a lot of money, but we are making money. So we've got $371 in taxes, $223 in city expenditures. So that looks good. Uh-oh, traffic jam warning. Stay off the streets. Heavy traffic is clogging our roads. Residents are upset and the pollution levels are rising. Now there might be a good time to introduce your mass transit program. Okay, so in evaluation of the city, this is a good time to do this. If you look, map. Come on, map. All right, traffic. See, there's a bit of intensity right there in traffic. Also, you'll probably note crime's a little high over here, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but it's all good because we're going to get this taken care of. Because when we get to our next chapter here, which is a city, guess what? We're already in city section. We've already made that. Now, we've still got a bit of growing to do. We're about halfway there, but we are growing pretty fast. But we should be able to do it by addressing some of the key issues that are coming up, such as crime, pollution, traffic. So let's start planning ahead for some of these things. All right. First off, let's kind of work on our crime issue by adding a little more, or potential crime issues for the future. Now, this is usually the haven for crime, but there is no crime. But if we continue to build industry, there's going to be more crime. So what do? Well, you build police as soon as you get it. So let's start with building some more industry. Now, there we go. And we'll do another one up here. Hold on. And then a police station right here. Connect with road. And to deal with any potential pollution issues, build some parkland. And that will probably put us to the end of this year. And the money's still looking good, even with the extra police department. All right. So Let's talk about traffic, shall we? Because this is going to be interesting. So, traffic's a problem, right? Traffic's always kind of an issue. Well, SimCity has this little deal that there's a way to be able to stop the traffic issue. And it's I'm God honest truth here. This is the best way to be able to handle it. They have, obviously, a railroad. And you can use railroad. Now, you might think, oh, yes, railroad to supplement, you just build rails alongside certain areas as well instead of roads or whatever, with the roads. No, actually, you make the railroads your actual form of transportation exclusively. I'm dead serious. So, what railroads do is they eliminate traffic jams, and there is absolutely nothing that's bad about having a railroad. No pollution, nothing. The only thing is people will say that they want more roads, but at the end of the day, to avoid the pollution and the traffic jams, this is honestly the best way to go. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to prove my point by bulldozing all roads that I just built. And I will build rail. And there's a little train. I don't want the zones to get affected by not having any transit, so you see the trail goes in the water. You'll actually watch, if you watch, here it goes. He goes in the water, and then he comes out of the water. That's just a funny little thing about that. Anyway, let's continue bulldozing these roads and replacing them with railroad. Whoops. The delay really gets me on that. All right, let's see. I could usually do this fairly quickly, but because of the delay, I'm being very careful not to make some kind of really bad mistake. Boy, the taxes look really good now. Alright. We're getting there. Okay, so this is what happens if you don't make your goal by 5 years. It says, I'm sorry, but it seems like something wasn't quite right in your city planning. Was your budget balanced properly? Did you solve your traffic and crime problems? Did you build a stadium? Let's think about this some more and try again. See, it says more roads required. Why? Why should more roads be required? They don't explain that because, like, it's not affecting your city's ability to function. I know my parents used to make fun of this whenever I would do this because they, like my dad would talk about being a police officer trying to deal with crime using only the train as, oh God. I knew I'd do this eventually, and I did. I accidentally bulldozed a condo. Okay. It'll come back. Oh boy. Yeah, see, there it came back. It's just as good as it was before. All right, but this solves the traffic issue. Let's build a seaport. Basically, this is something that once you do it once, it's not necessary. So, obviously, you want to keep it near water. And there we go. Yeah, that chewed up a good chunk of my money. But we should, somewhere, have a ship now. Oh, there it is. We got a ship. So there you go. And you can hear it going. More money in the bank. Cool. All right. Let's do some more industrial zones. 1, 2, 3. And pop. Since we got that seaport, it's a good time to build some industry. We'll connect some rail to it so we can get to it. We'll have to get rid of this parkland we just built there. All right. And we'll do 3 more here. And then pop another one over here. And we'll do oh wow, okay. I was trying to figure out where that was at. And then we'll do another 2. Pop one there. police department. Right there. Kind of centralized. Do a little bit more rail. Okay. And take a little bit of parkland surrounding the area. As soon as I get my numbers. Okay, not making as much money. Did see there's a little space right there. And yeah, we will just put some park around here. That'll be good for that. Now, we've done that. Let's go to commercial, because commercial, not to a commercial, but you're definitely going to need some more commercial spaces. So let's add, another block's worth. So let's add about 4 more commercials. Then get a little more rail. And we'll add some park. Now, I kind of like the idea of not bulldozing the land that is like just wild. Just keep that as is. And there you go. And we're getting pretty close to that city level now. Maybe before I even start building all these new residentials, because I'm about to build a lot. Oh. Okay. I mean a lot. Because we've built a lot of industrial, a lot of commercial, so there are some big time additions I need to make. So let's do 3 here to start. Alright. And then add some power proactively. Go right underneath it. There you go. Alright. Okay. And we'll start looping it down like that. Oh, you know what? I did that wrong. Because I don't want to build a residential right there. Yeah, that one I don't want. I want a police department right there. There. Okay. Some new residentials down here. I don't want to necessarily go too fast with it, just because I want stuff to have time to develop. wait for the taxes to come in. Okay. Ooh. Lost a little bit of money. Tell you, growth has not been going quite as well as I would like to see it. I think you see about what I'm planning here. Just a big old donut. Boom. And now we just let it grow. And my shoulders, upper back area. Oh, there we go. We hit it. Congratulations. Your town has become a city. Solve any transportation dilemmas and reduce the crime rate to keep your Sim citizens happy and the city growing. Well, this will do it. And we're going to end it, and I'm not going to save it. I'll just redo it when we do part 3 because there's a few things I want to change on it. I want to wish everybody blessings. I hope you enjoyed tonight's stream, and I hope to see you next week. And I hope that you enjoy your adventures. I've enjoyed this adventure, and I hope you enjoy yours.